Now when I'm looking at my taco, there's a little bit of a shape here that we want to leave open for our green, red, and our yellow. We're going to end up piping the line around the outside and then leaving the space open. All right. When it comes to our hole size, we want to keep it small. So we want to keep it fairly small. So I'm going to cut one of those. Oh, it's like an, help me out, math majors. And what is that tiny little mark? It is an eighth. It's an eighth. Yeah, an 1/8 inch. That's what we're going to attempt to cut out of there. So it would be 2 dash lines worth on the inch side. So over on the inch side. Yep. So we're starting fairly small. We can always get extra bags if we need to. We're probably good with this one. Just a small hole. If it starts to curl, then it needs to be a little bit bigger. Did that make sense? If it starts to curl, it needs to be bigger. But before you start piping, I do want you to watch me. I want you to watch me. Because the first time around is always a little bit like, whoa, wait, what? What did you ask me to do? I'm gonna cut mine just a little bit bigger because I feel like yours are probably a little bit larger. So I'm gonna do the same thing. And I'm going to start by putting a outline, and I'm going to stay slightly away from the edge because my icing is going to spread a little bit, right? So I usually stay away about 1/4 of an inch or so, and I'm hovering above the cookie. Can you see that tip is lifted up? That's proper piping technique, and it makes it just a little bit easier to make a solid line. Just continue to squeeze. Ignore I just did that. Ignore that. And then I often like to come through and just do one more outline for my border. Now sometimes you're going to see people who like to do one consistency, like thick consistency for a border, and then they come back through with another consistency for the flood. It's really not necessary. You do that first and then watch. You're going to put more icing into that space than you think you need. If you go thin, then you have to move it around too much and it starts crusting and drying. And you can see, like, I really didn't spend a lot of time. It was really fast, right? Toothpick perpendicular, so 90 degrees, and swirl quickly to help that move around the gaps. Super fast. You have to know when to stop too. And then shimmy and shake, and you get a solid surface. All right, while it's like that, there's more. While it's like that, you guys have eyeballs, and you will drop 1, and hopefully close to the same spot, 2, right in there. Start sinking into that bottom layer surface. We could pipe little lips on now, but it's probably better just to wait and let this kind of chill out. And then you have those little sprinkles that are your toasty marks. Just kind of drop in there. All right, so that's step 1. Border, another border, flood, 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 fast, 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 fast. Then use a toothpick and kind of wiggle it around, shimmy and shake it, and let it flood itself out. You guys have got this. And let's go ahead and put the rest of our details on our taco. So she's dry enough. Take a look at your green, your yellow, orange, your cheese. Basically look at your cheese, tomato, and lettuce. And use those 3 colors to create the details on top. So I started with like lettuce, and I just started by squeezing that lettuce shape kind of around the outside, and I left it really, really free form. I didn't try to help it too much. I just squeezed right over the top. And then I came back in and I added sections of cheese, which were like little squeezes, little short squeezes, and the same thing with the tomato. Just did squeezes of color to fill in the gaps. And then I came back through with just a little bit more green And filled in any of the little sections right at the edge of the taco shell. So it's not a lot of icing up there, just a smidge, just enough to fill in that gap. Let's go ahead and do our mouth on our taco. Yeah? We want to do the mouth on the taco? Yeah. So for this, I started with the bottom. I started with the bottom lip. And I just piped a little smiley face. I'm not pushing down into that icing. That's important. I just started with the bottom and created like the crescent bottom shape. Go ahead and do that first. Upper lip. I did 2 sections. So I started, I'm right-handed, so I started on this side and I created a little bloop and then came out to the outside edge. So it was just like a little up U, like an opposite U. Did that make sense? And then I did the same thing the other direction. So I have just like little kissy lips right there. O is good, and O is great.
It's okay, Mom's doing this.
I started in the middle and I went up and then back out. Yeah, it's almost like a reverse comma. Oop! Now she's got squish lips. That's all right. One more time. They just knew I needed to do it a second time. There we go. Yeah, I was just thinking that. A little extra Botox. Fortunately, she landed flat on her face, so. A little sideways.
Yeah, it's okay.
Alright, so I'm going to move her up and out of the way so I don't drop her again. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, consider being a part of our Patreon channel. Your support means the world to us and helps keep everything moving. Enjoy full tutorials, exclusive content, and one-on-one instruction from me personally, Natalie. You'll find our channel at patreon.com/artisinCakes. You'll find the link down below.